Okay, welcome to the channel. My name is Mark. I'm founder of Mindify AI, where we develop and research AI technology to help everyone to code faster and learn better. So, what we are going to do in this series is to look over some of the top and popular papers within LLM agent, and also how it applies to our product or our research within the company, and also some of the idea that we can share about like how to do research, how to do literature review, so that you can better understand the state of the art technology within this landscape. So today we will talk about Reflexion. This is a language agent with verbal reinforcement learning, and what it basically means is to use language as a way to provide feedback and update policy to the LM agent. So let's get started with this one. And today we would like to share how I actually personally read papers with AI, and also how I personally like learn this kind of technology and implement within our product. And so, first of all, when it comes to reading paper, the most important thing is obviously the abstract. We need to learn what is this wait. We need to know that what the paper is meaning about, so we can look over the abstract. So large language models have been increasingly used to interact with the external environment. And so, however, it remains challenging for the language agents to quickly and efficiently learn trial and error, as the traditional reinforcement learning method requires extensive training sample and expensive model fine-tuning. So this idea is over here is that in research, we can call this like research motivation, which is why we are doing this. And the research team from Northeastern MIT and Princeton, they proposed a new method called Reflexion. It's a novel framework to reinforce a language agent, not by updating weights, but instead through linguistic feedback, which is like a prompt level of reinforcement learning for language agent. So concretely, Reflexion agent will reflect on the task feedback signal and then maintain their own reflective testing episodic memory buffer to introduce better decision making in subsequent trial. So it's a feedback mechanism that use language to do reinforcement learning for language model or LM agent. And so, for example, Reflexion achieved a 91% pass A1 accuracy on a human eval coding benchmark, surpassing the previous state-of-the-art GPT-4 that achieved 80%. Okay, that's pretty much it. And so they provide demo code as well, so you can look over how we actually like implement this idea. And when it comes to reading this type of paper, if you have big knowledge already available to you, you can skip the introduction. But I would highly recommend you to look over the overview, like the illustration for this research in the introduction, or in the beginning of a method section. So figure one, Reflexion works on decision-making, programming, and reasoning tasks. So there's task to territory, evaluation, reflection, next to territory. And why is it, you can look over an example that to understand get a sense of like what is Reflexion doing differ from other method. Okay, so the next one can sometimes just a paper will actually summarize the contribution, and it's very important, especially in this kind of top tier like conference or research. It's published in NeurIPS 2023, like 2 years ago, And this high level of top-tier research, sometimes they will summarize their contribution, like what they propose, what they explore, and some of the results they're demonstrating, and some differentiation where their method is superior than others, instead of like the previous research that the publication that is available to you. So we want to be talking about reflexion, reinforcement via verbal reflection. And it's very important to learn this. And we want to start looking over this. This is like a kind of like architecture, outline of this research, outline of this method. And we developed a modular formulation for reflexion, utilize 3 distinct models: actor, denoted as MA, which generates tests and action. Evaluated model, represented by ME, scored output produced by MA, and a self-reflection model, denoted as SR, self-reflection, which is generate verbal reinforcement when cues to assist actor in self-improvement. We provide a detailed description of each model, sequentially equilibrate their cooperative functioning within the reflexion framework. So you can look over the algorithm. It's really important to understand that, okay, what is the algorithm doing, and what are the steps that's required to realize this method. So when we are implementing this, we're using this paper, then we will use this algorithm to outline the architecture for the code. And also the agent over here is very important to understand this graph. So when we are evaluating this paper, we can use figure 1 to get a sense of like what is the paper being about, and what is the idea, like what's a common pattern within this research that's different from others' previous work, and their differentiation. This is more like a marketing. It's like a hook. It's like a promise that with our method, that's superior than others, and how we contribute, advance this community forward with our research. So, and now they were introducing their method, and the figure 2 is the most important graph and or a figure in within this research, is to understand what is going on, what exactly is reflexion. So yeah, you can look over here, and you can, so I would say if you want to understand reflexion, the important one is chapter 3, section 3, actor, evaluator, self-reflection, and memory. And you can understand the interrelation of this system right over here. And as also you can talk about, like, you can look over some of the benchmark they're working on, and how they actually how do they actually outperform other work. And so the important here is to look over the limitation, because even the greatest research of all time, they still have limitation to their work itself. It's not perfect. And those limitations are something that you can work on in your future research. So it's very important to have this, look over this when you are skimming the paper. So what we are working on within the company is called Cura, called Understanding Reasoning Agent. It's a reasoning pipeline that allows LLM to perform much better with agentic reasoning workflow. And so when we are working on this Cura research, Project Cura, then we can look over some of the limitations that Reflexion has, and it takes advantage of some of their work, and also avoid some of the limitation that is already being provided from the researcher of Reflexion. So the conclusion is, in this work, we present Reflexion and approach that leverage for reinforcement to teach agent to learn from past mistake. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. And let's look over, let's take some note to learn more about this project. So when it comes to like doing doing research, reading paper itself is just a part, it's a fraction of entire project. You have to understand that doing research is not just about reading paper. Doing research is about reading the paper and get some idea from it, and so that it can help you to do your own work instead of like, because as a researcher producing work, you're not just consuming paper. You are not paper reader. You're a paper creator. So we can actually start to take some note and reflect on what we can learn from this work, reflecting on, and also really improve our own research in this way. So okay, so now let's talk about outside note. So the framework I use is to have a summary about this research, about the work. And every research has their own motivations, objective, research question, and hypothesis. And motivation is the reason why you want to do this research. And the reason is over here, already marked by this, okay, copy text, motivation here. Okay. So once it's ready, and we could test the training, and our objective is to deliver a novel algorithm that reinforces an agent to improve during the runtime. The research question is how to design a verbal reinforcement learning algorithm that enable us to accomplish the objective. And a hypothesis will be like so the researcher posts Reflexion language is reinforcement algorithm enable an agent to reflect and improve on the inference time, during the inference time. Words, trial and error, agents. And so we can talk about method. So this after your answer and self-reflection. After evaluator, self-reflection, and memory. Yeah. So So we need to also differentiate different. Yeah. So that's pretty much it, and that's how we actually learn the paper fast. And just keep it look at the paper quickly, and so that we can understand like what's going on within this work. And if you want to learn more detail about the research, you have to spend more time reading and researching about this paper. So, but this type of summarization frameworks really helps a researcher and engineer outside to understand the state of the art research and also like how, and learn how to improve our own research and our own product. And so yeah, that's pretty much it. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.